Hello, hello, and welcome to another Tuesday night live. So glad you could join me. Thank you so much. Hope everyone is getting all their Christmas stuff done. I'm going to head on over here and check my Facebook settings and see if I can see who's jumping on while we wait for everyone. Let's see if we can get it to cooperate. I know there's always a lag. So okay, let's go here and see if that'll help me. There we go. All right, hello, Laura. Thank you so much for joining me. Hope you had a great day. I just spent the last, little over an hour talking on the phone with my aunt from Minnesota. She called out of the blue. I haven't talked to her in quite some time, and it was a wonderful surprise. So we caught up, and it was just great. Now I feel like I'm scrambling. It's okay. I was all ready to go for tonight. I hope that everyone likes the projects that I have. Be sure and let me know when you're here and say hello. And if you're new, let me know that too, so I can be sure to give you a shout out. And hello, Jennifer. We're going to get started here in just a minute or so. We're using the Simply Sparkling stamp set and the coordinating Simply Sparkling dies. These two can be purchased in a bundle. They're an online exclusive, so let me go ahead and give you that bundle number. It is 162871. Or if you choose to just get the stamp set, 162866 and 162870 on the dies. If you're interested, you'll find them in the online exclusives section. Hello, Cynthia. It was wonderful to see you doing so well after your surgery today. Too bad I didn't have more time to sit and chat with you. It's been a crazy busy day. Crazy busy. But it's going to slow down right after the holidays, I hope. Okay. So the projects that I have for you tonight, like I said, they use this bundle. However, the intent of the projects is to give you some last minute gift card ideas that you could use with whatever product you have on hand. So if you need some cards or gift card ideas, packaging ideas, I'm going to give those to you tonight, and then you can just use what you already have. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's move these out of the way. I have done, because I'm focusing on the projects, I've done a lot of the work in advance so that you don't have to watch, and then the time-consuming part can be the projects themselves. So these are my supplies. I've got a piece of lemon lime twist, and this is 3.5, I think, 3.5, no, 3 3/4. 3 3/4 by 10. And I've scored this in half at 5 so that I have a 3 3/4 by 5-inch card here. So the first thing I'm going to do is give this a good burnish with the bone folder. I've also got a piece of lemon lime twist that is a 1/4 sheet of cardstock here in the US, and this is 4 1/4 by 5.5. We've got a piece of basic white. This is for the inside, and this is 3.5 by 4 3/4. Then I've got a piece of, actually I should have two pieces. Where is that second piece? Ooh, I might have to go find a piece. Okay, we need two pieces of this pattern. So this one is 3.5 by 2 3/8 because it's exactly half of the 3.5 by 4 3/4. Okay, so, and actually we're going to put these together, but I'm going to stamp on this. Okay, then I'm introducing a new product. This is a sneak peek. I've taken a piece of basic white and I've cut it with the perennial postage dies. These are in the upcoming mini catalog, and it does come with a bundle. You can get a stamp set of all sentiments along with these dies, or you can purchase the dies by themselves if you so choose. And those will be available to customers beginning January 4th. And I took this second to the largest postage die and cut out a piece of basic white. So we can use that. And let's see, let's go ahead and grab that piece that I thought I cut that I apparently didn't cut. We're using the Bright and Beautiful Designer Series paper. This is a 6x6 paper stack. This is the pattern that I need. This Designer Series paper is in the annual catalog. That's where you'll find it. So this piece needs to be 4 by 5 1/4. So let's cut that down. 4 by 5 1/4. I always like to check the pattern on the back to make sure that when I'm cutting the front, I'm cutting the back in a direction that I will still want to use. Just a little tip there. Okay, so we can go ahead and add this piece of cardstock to our card base here. And I'm just going to use a little Stampin' Seal for that. And that's just going to leave a 1/4 inch border, or 1/8 of an inch border, I should say. It's a 1/4 of an inch smaller than the base. Okay, so there we go. Now let's go ahead and we're going to stamp on our postage layer here. Get me a better scrap sheet here. So we're going to take from the sparkling, Simply Sparkling, and I'm going to use some basic gray, lemon lime twist, and daffodil delight ink. Let's start with the lemon lime twist. And we're going to take and ink up these bubbles. And I'm going to stamp them off. And then I'm going to randomly stamp them on my layer. And I'm turning my stamp so they don't all look uniform. To make it look like it's all haphazard. And you want to stamp off the sides so it kind of looks like you cut that out of a larger piece of paper. All right, I'm happy with that. Okay. Oh, I made a mess out of that. Oops. Let's get that cleaned up because I'm going to need that again. Not for this particular card, but for the next one. Okay, so we've got that piece. Now, on a piece of basic white scrap, you would want to cut out, stamp, and cut out the soda can. So there's a stamp for that. I stamped in basic gray ink. on basic white cardstock, and then I cut out with the soda can die here. Okay, and to save time, I've already done that. And then I colored the can top and the can bottom here with light and dark gray granite ink. I did that just to save us some time, but I did want to show you how I colored the can. So we're going to take that lemon lime ink again, and I'm going to take a mini blending brush. Hello, Tracy. Thanks for joining. And I'm going to take off some of that ink just so I don't get a big blob, and then I'm going to lightly fill in my can. Okay, I don't want this to be perfect. I want lights and darks areas. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Very quick way to color in my can. And then also from the Simply Sparkling, I'm going to take this image, which so you can see it better is this image right here. And I'm going to take some lemon lime ink and did I stamp that? Nope, I got to go full strength there. I'm going to put this right on my can. Okay. And then I'm going to take my basic gray ink and the Sentiment Fizztastic. I'm going to ink that up. Make sure that's nice and dark. And then I'm going to put that right over that Fizztastic. And then I'm going to take Birthday Wishes, also from Simply Sparkling. And I'm going to put that down so it says Fizztastic Birthday Wishes. And now my can is ready for my project. Okay, so let's set this aside. Now within that set, you also can make a can where you don't have to color it at all. And I wanted to show you that you can do it simply by taking the soda can die and a piece of the Bright and Beautiful, cut out the can in that ombre lemon lime twist pattern, and then take the soda can top and cut that with the die. And I wanted to show you how this works out. So I'm going to run this through my mini cut and emboss machine real quick, just so you can see the process for that, because this one die cuts 3 pieces and it does it all at the same time. So we're going to take a piece of silver foil and I'm just going to place that in my mini machine, and I'm going to throw my can die on here, my top can, put my number 2 plate on top. So my sandwich is 1, 2, paper, die, and plate 2 again. And then I can set these aside. And when I pop this out, you're going to see that I have 3 pieces. So I've got a can bottom. I've got the can tab. If these will cooperate and stay upright. Thank you. And then I've got the lid itself. And if you have trouble getting these out of your dies, there's some little holes. Just take your pick tool or a pokey tool and poke those and it'll come right out. All right, now let's put this away before I lose it, because that would be very sad. All right, so we've got that. And then we're just going to take and grab our silicone mat here and our soda can cut from the Bold and Bright paper. Take my fine tip glue pen. And I'm going to put a little bit of Tombow glue on there. Now, you could use the adhesive sheets on this if you're not very good with the Tombow glue, because once you get glue on the foil, it's very difficult to get it off without it looking terrible. There we go with our can bottom. Then let's do the can top. And again, I'm just using little bits. A little bit of Tombow goes a long way. Okay, and then I'm just going to set this on the top here. It'll just line up perfectly. And before I give that too hard of a press, I'll check the back and make sure that I don't have anything sticking up. And then the easiest way to put this on, I wanted a little bit of lift, and you guys know when I want a little bit of lift without a whole dimensional, I go to my glue dots. But I've got a tip for you here because that's a very small area. So I'm going to take my glue dot and I'm going to roll this back. Get my ribbon out of the way so I don't cut it. I'm going to grab my scissors and I'm just going to take and cut my glue dot in half, just like that. Now I've got 2 half glue dots. Again, I'm going to take my take your pick tool. I'm going to roll that up into a little log. Turn over my piece here. And I'm going to just set that at the bottom. Okay. And then I'm going to take the other half of that glue dot I left on the roll. And again, I'm going to roll that into a log. And I'm going to put it at the top. And then I'm just going to get that out of the way. And set it right here. And I have just a little bit of a lift, not a lot. I don't have any glue sticking out. And there's my can. And I can go ahead with my can, take my lemon lime twist and that same stamp, stamp that on, take my basic gray, grab the Fizztastic, and the birthday wishes. And now I have my soda can 2 ways. Okay, and I didn't have to color at all on this one. Okay, go ahead and tell me which one of these is your favorite in the comments. I'd love to know. Stamped and colored or DSP and die cuts. Let me know which one you want me to use. I do have one already made with the coloring, so I can do either way, whatever you wish. And we'll go ahead and move on while I'm waiting. Okay, so we've already got this put together. Now we've got this. Let's go ahead and add this to our card base. And I'm just going to do that with a little bit of Stampin' Seal. And actually, before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and if you're going to stamp on the back of your card, now is the time to do it. So I'm going to do that quickly because it's a little difficult to do later. Okay. Set those up there. I'll need to clean those. Okay, so we've got that. Now we can put this on. And we're just going to center that up. Oh, no, we're not. Ooh, glad I didn't do that. This piece, actually, we're going to bring in that 3 3/4 by 5-inch card. And we're going to place this on there. Center that up. It fits quite nicely. All right, now we can take and add this to our card. So I'm gonna do that with Tombow glue. So I've got a little bit of wiggle room. So I'm just gonna take that and flip it over to the back. Put some Tombow glue on there. Make sure I got enough. And then I'm just gonna place this down here. Center that up as best we can. And there is the beginning of our card. Okay, so now let's go ahead and do the inside. And the inside of our card, we're just going to put a little sentiment, but we want to make sure that our sentiment goes where we need it to go. So this is our layer here, and we're going to take a 1-inch punch. We don't sell those currently, but I'm sure you have one in your stash. And this is 3.5 inches, so we need to go at 1 5/8. Oh, what did I do? Is that right? 3.5, 3. Nope, 1 3/4. That's what I need. 1 3/4. I'm gonna put a little mark at 1 3/4 because I can't eyeball center. And I'm just gonna take my tool here, and at 1 3/4, I'm gonna put a little divot here, just like that. I'm going to take my punch. I'm going to put that little divot in the center of my punch, or as close to the center. That doesn't really look centered. We're going to try it though. There we go. Okay. And then I'm going to add this to my white piece. But before I actually put that down, just in case I need to turn it over, I'm going to lay this here. I'm going to ink up in basic gray. Your Soda Lightful. And I'm going to put that right up here. Okay, looks pretty good. Now I'm going to take that tear and tape and I'm going to put the tear and tape on the bottom and the 2 sides as close to the edge as I can without getting it on my table. Okay, got that. And this is just going to make you a nice gift card or money pocket. Now I'm going to burnish that down. The secret to getting Stampin' Seal to really hold is to make sure you burnish. That way the adhesive is fully adhered to your surface. Okay, and then we're going to add this line up the bottoms and the sides. Remember, this piece of paper is exactly the same width. Okay, and then again, I'm going to go ahead and burnish those sides because I don't want that coming apart and my gift card falling out. So here's a little gift card I can stuff in there, and you can still see the sentiment up there. So then we can add this to the inside of our card. And normally these inside things I don't fully adhere down, but because this is for a gift card, I'm fully adhering. And then I'm just going to center this up. Now I can either sign this up here or I can sign it here. And let's finish up die cuts. Okay, you guys want the die cut can, so let's grab that. And I'm going to pop this up. Okay. And because it's a rather large die cut, I'm going to use 5 dimensionals. And then I've already taken and cut from those dies. This is in holographic foil, in our holographic trio. So I've taken this die right here, and I put adhesive sheet on the back of it before I cut it so that this would be a sticker. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and put that down first. And let's get my pokey tool here. I'm just going to take and separate the adhesive backing. This can be done with Tombow and a fine tip glue pen if you don't use the adhesive sheet. That's the way I did my first one. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's put this down like so. And I need to make sure that I don't hit the bend of my card up here. So I want to put this down far enough where it doesn't interfere with the bend of the card, but I'm putting it all the way over to the side there, clear up to the top there. Now I'm going to give that a good burnish. This is removable until you burnish it. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and stick my soda can right here. All right. And then finally for this card, I stamped, colored, and cut with the die cuts a full lemon, and then a lemon and a lime. And this is colored with Dark Daffodil Delight, Light Daffodil Delight, and the Dark Lemon Lolly. So I'm going to put this down here. And then I'm going to take my lemon, stick it about right there. Put my lime in here. The lime is colored with light and dark lemon lime twist. And then I used a little bit of lemon lime twist and parakeet party in the leaves here. So let's go ahead and we're going to pull this out. Put some glue on this. Okay. And we're going to stick this in here about like so. And then we'll put this one Add more of an angle there. So those kind of look like that. And then we're going to add our lemon right here. And I'm going to go ahead and glue that flat too. This card already has a lot of dimension with the nature of the card itself, along with the dimensionals for the can, so I don't want to add any more bulk. All right, and I think that is enough. I did not put any embellishments on it because I thought it already had enough shine and glimmer. So there is our card, and it's a gift card holder. Of course, you can stick a check or money in there. Just lift this up and put your stuff in there, and because we use the tear and tape, it's not going to pull right up on you. And there you have project number 1, along with a completed envelope. Okay, let's go ahead and clean up a little bit. And we'll move on to the next gift card holder. Hopefully, I did quite a bit of the work of that too, I think, just because I knew these were going to be a little bit more time consuming. And I wanted to focus on the gift card portion itself. Okay, so let's cap up the glue so it doesn't go. All right, let me clean a couple of stamps that I know I'm going to use again. And okay, I think that should be good. Move that out of the way. All right, this next part, we're focusing on the gift card holder. Seriously. Okay, so let's set this out of the way. I can bring this back at the end. And let's move on to project number 2. Okay. Uh-oh, I lost a piece. It just fell out of my thing. I know it did. Okay. Here are our supplies for this card. You need a piece. This is Delightfully Eclectic, and I'm using a piece that is 4 by 10.5, and we need to score this. So let's bring in our scoring tool, because this is going to be the major part of our card. This is the card focus here. I'm going to bring in my template so I know how to score this, and I'll put this out for you in a minute. So we're going to score this piece. Remember, this is 4 by 10.5. On the 10.5 inch side, we're going to score this at 1/2, 1, 5, 5.5, 6, and 10. Okay, so that's 1/2, 1, 5, 5.5, 6, and 10. And it's all on the long side. Oh, and then we're going to turn. And on the 4 inch side, we're going to score at 1/2 and at 3 inches. Okay, so 1/2 and 3 inches on the short side. Okay, now let's burnish these. And with DSP, you want to be careful when you burnish. You don't want to get overzealous because you don't want your paper to crack. Okay, so let's think about this for a second. Okay, on these ends, we're going to fold this one. Turn that around. With the skinny side at the end here, I'm going to fold this and down. Okay. On this side that has two score lines, I'm going to fold the first one back, and then I'm going to fold the next score line. So that's the 1/2 inch score line. This is the 1 inch score line. I'm going to make sure that those line up, the edges, and then I'm going to score that back so that I have a sort of accordion fold. Okay. Then in the center, on the 5 inch mark, I'm going to fold that one down. Okay. Then I'm going to fold the 5 1/2 back. And I'm going to fold the 6 inch mark down. Okay, so that I've got an accordion fold. Okay, so it looks like that. All right. And here is a picture of the template. So now I'm going to take my scissors, and I've got the two here, the 1/2 and the 1 inch, and I'm going to cut off. I'm going to turn this over because I can see it better. I'm going to cut up on the first score line to the second score line, and I'm going to remove both of these rectangles. Okay. And then I'm going to repeat that on the other side. So I'm going to cut up to the score line. I only have one score line this time. And then I'm going to cut off these two little pieces. Okay. Let's go to the other side. I'm going to cut up on the score line. I'm going to cut off this corner. Okay. And then I'm going to repeat this on the other side, cut up the score line, and then cut off the rectangle. Okay. Now, this piece, when we do this, is going to fold over here. So this is going to be my glue tab. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to slightly miter those edges on my glue tab. Okay. Then I'm going to come to my center folds here, and I'm going to cut up the first score line from the right. Okay. I'm going to cut up the last score line, which is at that large rectangle on the left, so that I've got this. And then I'm going to fold these two pieces up, and I'm going to remove these two rectangles, just like that. Okay. And I'm going to repeat that on the other side, but I only have one score line to cut up. So again, I'm going to turn that over so I can see better. I'm going to cut up this score line. I'm going to skip the middle score line and go to the outside score line. And then I'm going to fold these up, and I'm going to cut off these two scored rectangles right there. Okay, so now our little template looks pretty much like that one. Now I want to go ahead and I'm going to slightly miter these large rectangle edges. This is the top of our bag, and I don't want those interfering with my fold. So I'm going to very slightly miter those. And only on the top of the bag. Okay. So miter those. All right. So we've got that. Now, I'm going to take my bag and I'm going to fold this in half, like so. I'm going to come into this section. I've got two score marks here, which is probably hard for you to see. I've got a score mark here. I'm going to go down about a 1/2 inch on the score line, and between These two score lines here, you have a 4-inch bag here, down about 1/2 inch. Okay, I'm going to mark this. I'm going to mark it so you can see it. I'm going to mark it at 1.5 and at 2.5. Okay, so I don't know if you can see those pencil marks. Then I'm going to take a 1/8 inch hole punch, and I'm going to take that in, and right where I marked those, I'm going to punch out that hole on both pieces at once. Okay, so I've got a nice hole there, and then I'm going to move over to this score line, and those are going to be my handles. Now, if you have any pencil left, go ahead and take that off, and we're going to put our handles on. Okay, so we're going to take some metallic woven ribbon, and this is the Sweet Sorbet, but it works great with this. Okay, now we need to thread this through from the front to the back. This thread is extremely difficult to thread. I took a 5-inch piece, and I need 2 of those. Let me get I should have already cut this, but I didn't, because I had to run down and get some flossers so I could spread this through. Otherwise, I was going to change the ribbon, because it's not easy. Okay, so now I've got 2 pieces of that Sweet Sorbet ribbon. And I'm going to take one of these little dental flossers to make my life a whole lot easier. Okay, and I'm going to thread that through. If I can figure this out. Okay, so I'm going to take and I'm going to put that through. I'm going to put my ribbon in here, and then hopefully this will thread through the way I want it to. Pull that on through. Yay! Okay, so we've got one handle. So much easier than the way I did it this afternoon. Let's do it the smart way, right? Okay, then I'm going to put this through because I want these on the outside of the bag and the ends on the inside. I'm going to hold this and I'm going to pull this through so that I have my ends right here. Okay, and then I'm going to make sure that my ribbon isn't twisted. Right now it is, so let's untwist it so we have just a plain thing. Okay, and get these ends about the same, and I'm going to pull these up about as far as I want my handles to be. Okay, so that looks like a good amount to me. So I've got this, I've turned it upside down now. Okay, now I'm going to take my tear and tape. Okay, I'm going to lift this up. I'm going to take some tear and tape, and I'm going to tape it right across my ribbon. And I want to make sure this stays, so I'm going to double. Okay, then I'm going to fold this down, and I don't really want that showing. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a little trim. And now you can see why I needed a flosser. Okay, so we've got that. Right, so I've got a handle on the outside, and I've got my ends on the inside. Then I'm going to take a piece of tear and tape here, and I'm going to put that on. I'm going to burnish those down really well. Get all my fibers out of there. And then I'm going to remove the protective backing on my tear and tapes, and I'm removing all of the backings. Okay. And then again, I'm going to give that a good burnish, and that is going to hold my handle nice and tight. Okay? The handles really are just for decoration. They're not really to hold anything. So we're going to repeat that on this side so you can see it again. Let's get a hold of that. Put my flosser through, pull my end, repeat on this side. These little flossers are amazing, and they will be a permanent installation in my craft room, because wow, how much easier is that to thread ribbon? Well, it was until I didn't hold on to it, which I needed to do. Silly me. Okay, let me grab a hold of this one in here so I don't pull it out again. Come on, get in there. I feel like I'm all thumbs here. Come on. I don't know why this seems so difficult for me this time. I did it so easy the first time. Okay, so again, I'm going to make sure that my ribbon lays flat. And this time, I'm going to put this in, and I'm going to pull this, and I'm going to try and get those even till they look about even. Looks like I need a little bit more. Let's see. Okay, that does not look bad to me. I'm going to let that go. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. After all, it's not Hallmark. But if you make this card, you're going to dazzle everybody. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get those in. Put down our other tear and tape here. I'm going to give that all a really good burnish. Check those ends. I've got a tiny bit hanging over that I don't want. I'm going to clip that. Okay. Now I'm going to remove the backing again. All three pieces. I know it seems like a lot of tear and tape, but I figured the better secured it was, the better off I am. Okay. So there we are. Now I've got those pieces. Okay. Now remember I said this section on the right here, that's a single tab, is your glue tab. I didn't like how long this was, so I'm going to go ahead and, before I trim that, I'm going to put my tear and tape on the edge here, right at the score line. Okay. And then I'm going to trim this with my scissors just a little bit. Nobody's even going to know I did that. Doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't even have to be straight. Okay, because you're not going to see it. So again, I'm going to remove my tear tape. I'm going to fold this over. So I'm folding it on this is the first score line, this is the second score line. I'm going to fold that over, and then I'm going to fold on the second score line from the right here. I've got one score line, two score lines, and then I'm just going to lay those down, making sure they line up properly. And then again, I'm going to give that a good score. Okay, so now this is what I have. All right, I've got a little bag with an empty bottom. All right, 2 more pieces of tear tape and we're almost there. So now I'm going to take my tear tape. I'm going to put this tear tape right in the middle of the bottom section here. You've got a score line here in the bottom, putting it right in the middle. Okay. I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Score tape right in the middle, or tear tape, I should say. Yeah. All right. Burnish, burnish, and our box, our gift bag is now ready for our card. Okay, so let's move on to the card. I've got a basic card base. This is an A2 size bubble bath, 5.5 by 8.5. I scored it at 4 1/4. Okay, I'm going to fold that in, give that a burnish. And again, this is a card that's hard to do on the back, so I'm going to do that now. I'm going to grab my bubble bath ink. And did I clean those stamps? Ooh, I don't think I did. I'll clean those real quick. I don't want lemon lime twist in my bubble bath. Okay, I'm going to take my bubble bath ink. And on the back of my card, I'm going to stamp my stamp. Okay. All right, got that. Now, for the inside of my card, I have already completed the inside. Okay, I took a piece of basic white cardstock, and this cardstock is cut at 3 3/8 by 4 5/8. And this is going to go on the inside of my card. And I need to put it in now. And you guys know I ordinarily, the insides, I only secure once. But on this particular card, I'm securing it both up and down. Okay, then I'm going to put this in the center of my card. And you'll see why I did this now. Okay. Now we're going to take our gift bag. Okay. And I'm going to remove the backing on this. I'm going to lay it in here like this. I'm going to remove the release paper on the tear and tape that's on the back side of the bag when I have it laid with the handles to the right. Okay, I'm going to lay this cut edge right next to the fold. I'm not going to cover the fold. I'm going to lay it right next to the fold, and I'm going to try to center it top and bottom. Okay, so I'm going to lay that in there, and when I think I've got it good, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to lay that down. I'm going to give it a good burnish. Okay, now I'm going to turn my card upside down because that's easiest for me. I'm going to remove the release paper on this. I'm going to take the front of my card. I'm going to hold on to my gift bag so it's flat. And you can see that the cut edge is laying next to the fold there, but not over. And I'm just going to fold that up. And then I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm going to give that a fold, okay, or a burnish. Now, when I open my card, look what I have. Voila! Cool, huh? And now you can put a gift card in there, you can put money in there, you can do whatever, and your recipient is going to be totally wowed. Now, you don't want to put anything that's real tiny because it will fall out the sides. Here, you do have little tiny openings here so that it can fold up so that it pops up when you're done. Okay, so there's the inside of our card. For the outside of our card, I've taken a piece of the Bright and Beautiful Designer Series paper that we used on the other card, right? Bright and Beautiful, and that is in the annual catalog. And we're going to add this to the front. Oops. Well, apparently we need a refill. Hang on. Hold, please. Let's grab a refill. I should have one right here. Very, very handy. Sorry about that. I should have looked to see how low that was before I started. I did not realize I was that low. Okay, so I'm just going to grab my refill, which doesn't seem to want to come out of my bag. Okay, and I'm just going to make sure I don't have any sticky up here. And if you do, you just take and grab it and then rub it off your finger. Just clean those. You want to clean those every time you change them. Grab any of those little glue balls. Okay, then I'm going to take my Stampin' Seal and I'm going to put it right here on these pegs. Snap on the top, and I am good to go again. Okay. And here we go. Back in business. All right. So I'm going to put this down on my card. Center that up. Okay, got that. Because my card base has that gift card on the inside, I'm going to give that a little burnish. Now again, I've got that same basic white piece of cardstock with the perennial postage die. It's the same size die. Let's do this again. I need those bubbles. This time we're using Bubble Bath. And this time I'm going to go full strength. But random again. Okay, just a tiny bit there. And a tiny bit there, and we're good. Okay. And this is going to get added to our card. Okay, what did I do with my silicone mat? Oh, there it goes. Okay, got that started pretty quick. Because this is a thick card, I'm adding a little bit extra on my adhesive. So I don't want this to come up because the top is rounded a little bit. And again, I'm going to give that a good burnish because I don't want it to come up. All right. Now, I've taken ahead of time and I stamped, colored, and die cut some cherries. Okay, and I've got 3 of those. These are the colors that I used for these are light and dark berry burst. I put a little bit of dark bubble bath in the center in that little white spot on the cherry. And then for the leaves, I used light and dark old olive. Okay, but before I put that on, I want to put my sentiment on. And I forgot to get myself a scrap piece of bubble bath. So let me grab that really quickly. I thought I had one in there, but maybe that fell out on me. Okay, so I need it 3 3/4 by, what did I use? Let's see. 3 3/4 by 2 3/4, I think. 3/4. 3/4. And you know what? I'm going to go 2 1/2 and call it good. Because it doesn't really matter. Let's go 2 5/8. Okay, that should work. Get those pieces out. Okay, let's go ahead and I'm gonna use the banner pick-a-punch and the dovetail one here, and I'm just going to push it all the way in and punch, and then I'm going to turn it around, put it back in all the way to the end and punch again. Okay, and then I've got these 2 pieces left I can get rid of. Then I'm going to take my Berry Burst ink and my Birthday Wishes stamp set, which hopefully I cleaned. I think I did. And I'm going to take the Berry Burst ink and ink up the birthday wishes and hopefully get this in the center and straight. Okay. And then we're going to add this in here. So let's go ahead and put some, because this is so thick, I don't want to bump things up. So I'm going to set these down and set this down. I'm going to put this, I need my tweezers so I can see. Okay, I'm going to put that about right there. Okay, and then we'll add our cherries and our card will be done. Put those there. Trying to keep the bulk on this to a minimum because it is quite bulky. Not something that you're probably going to mail without extra postage, but it's definitely a good hand delivered. Just do that. There we go. And of course, I've got to put a little Wink of Stella in here. Really make those cherries look juicy and shiny. All right, there are our gift card projects for tonight. I hope you like those. Now, here, let me get my envelope here real quick and I'll show you what I did because I forgot to do this one. I tried to keep this simple, but I wanted to get a little bit of texture on it. So let's find what I did with my bubble bath. And we'll take our little bubbles. Okay. And then right there. And there is our matching envelope. Okay. So we got that. Super cute, don't you think? Thank you, Tracy. Thanks, Jennifer. So glad you guys like those. But really, they don't, for someone special, that is an awesome way to give a gift card or a little gift. And let's bring back that first card that we made. So there's our Simply Sparkling. And of course, you could take any of your holiday stamp sets and do this same thing. Just put a square of paper, get some designer series paper if you have some. If not, do some random stamping and make yourself some gift card holders. All right. I hope you like those. Thank you for joining me. For next Tuesday night, I won't have time. I don't think I'm going to have time to do a bunch of projects. So what I'm planning for next week, sorry, I'm cleaning while I'm talking here. What I'm doing for next week is I plan to do my pre-order unboxing, and if I can get to making some samples, I'll try to make some samples, but I'm not going to make any promises with the Christmas holiday on Monday and my schedule leading up to that. So I will be back on next Tuesday night at 7, and we will be doing an unboxing. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. I hope you liked those projects. And I'll see you again next week. Have a very, very Merry Christmas. And I hope that you have time for family and friends. Good night.